Now, the knack for capturing the male psyche in his books has put our first guest on the bestsellers list. It's won him awards and resulted in a film interpretation of his book, Yes Man, which recently starred Jim Carrey. He joins us today to talk about his latest tome, More Awkward Situations for Men, which has seen Hollywood come knocking at his door once again. Please welcome Danny Wallace.
Hello. How are you? Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, women. How are you?
Hello, man.
Yeah, exactly. How's it going?
Awkward?
A little bit
Feeling
now,
awkward?
Yeah. This is actually what awkward feels like.
I'm going to make you feel a bit more awkward.
Yeah.
Because you were talking earlier in the green room to the people about the last time you saw Peter Andre,
Yes.
and which was on the 5 o'clock show.
That's right, yeah.
I was on the same show. You don't even remember.
I do. You haven't given me a chance to come out and say it.
Yeah, well, you didn't mention me, and I'm...
One woman as well.
Hey!
All right, well, I feel very welcome indeed now. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done, Carol. This is the second volume of your awkward situations. Yeah. You must spend your entire life feeling slightly awkward.
I do, especially on this show all of a sudden. No, I think we all do every now and again. I think it applies as much to women as it does to men. But, I mean, these things happen all the time, just little moments of awkwardness that bubble up and...
What? I mean, you feel awkward walking behind women at night. Why?
I do. I don't know how to walk behind a woman I don't know
So that they don't think that you're going to do something to them,
right, or be some kind of threat, and yet it's slightly arrogant of me to think that they might think I'm some kind of threat. But, you know, you can't walk along. How do you make them feel more comfortable? You can't shout out, "I'm not a threat," because that sounds a bit weird.
What about must be? I worry about you. When I was reading the book last night, I thought, God, I thought I was a worrier. But what I do like is, though, is when you observe awkward things like park benches and people, because there is a thing about people. You think, oh no, they're going to talk to me. You know, oh no,
filling a silence,
which is kind of both male and female, really, isn't it? It's not
I think
just
so,
about...
yeah. I think they apply, you know, to men and women. But being a man, I can only write about it from my sort of perspective. But, you know, the park bench thing, you're sitting on a park bench. There are many other park benches, all of them empty, all of them perfectly applicable to whoever wants to come along, and yet someone chooses to sit next to you. And then the pressure, the social contract. Do I have to talk to them? Do they want me to talk to them? If you start talking to them, they think this guy's a nutter. All these things. Or the lift. I was at a lift recently, and I was... I'd pressed the button, all right? And I've been in many lifts before. I've pressed many buttons before. I've got through 34 years of life dealing with buttons quite well. All you can do with a button is press the button. And I'm standing there, I've pressed the button, I'm waiting for the lift, and a lady arrives, and I can tell she is desperate to press that button, right? The light is on. She knows I've pressed that button.
In case you haven't pressed it well enough.
Yeah, well, she's obviously thinking, look at this guy. He obviously
that.
can't press a button. The lift hasn't arrived.
She's not thinking that. You're just thinking that she thinks that because you feel awkward in the lift
Well, then
with
why,
her.
Carol McGiffin, did she then press the button?
Yeah.
She pressed the button, and now I'm sitting there thinking, please, lift, do not arrive. Because I don't want her thinking that I can't press a button. And then a fella comes along, and he just looks at us, and he's like, he hasn't witnessed this whole paranoia gone under my head, and he just presses the button. Within 3 seconds, the lift arrives. He looks at us like, who are these simpletons that can't press a
I just
button?
think some people... The thing that makes me feel awkward is when you're in, like, a long corridor and you're both doing that walking towards each other and you don't know whether to sort of make eye
what point
contact.
do you say
in a
hi?
way.
Do you-
At what
do
point
you stop?
Do you stop?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you
especially-
do in that situation?
Do you think it's more... Do you think men are just generally more awkward?
I think no. I think not. In fact, but I found this out through talking to one of my friends, a girl. She got into a very awkward situation recently. She woke up late. She's supposed to go to meetings across town. She was late, so she wakes up, she puts some makeup on, she finds sort of yesterday's clothes, pulls her jeans on, gets in the car, drives there, has a great meeting. Everything went terrifically. As she's leaving the meeting, someone just goes, "Oh, my God!" And she turns round, and her pants from the day before are on the floor in the middle of that person's office. And they've been in her jeans from the day before. And she doesn't know... I mean, how do you respond to this? Yeah.
Very small pants.
Well, you know, and she looks down and she recognises them. She's thinking, those are definitely my pants. And she can't say, I appear to have left my pants in your office. So she just goes, what kind of business are you people running? Turns around and just runs away, basically. But no, they were her pants. So no, women get into these situations.
There was a chance that this was going to be made into a sitcom, wasn't it?
Yeah, a sitcom, yeah.
So what happened? Is it happening or what?
Well, I went over to America to shoot a pilot, all called Awkward Situations for Men.
With you in it?
With me in it, which when my friends see it...
You were playing you?
I was playing me, which is the role I was born to play in many ways. I've been rehearsing for that role for 34 years. It's been fantastic. But when my friends see it, it's a bit weird, because it sort of looks like a Seinfeld or a Friends, and it's got that kind of American look of a sitcom. But then there's just me walking down the middle in my normal clothes with my name, speaking with my voice. So my friends are a bit confused by it. So we made the pilot, and then they wanted to have a baby in it. There was no baby in it. We couldn't really do a cartoon baby at that stage or anything like that.
You had one in real life?
I had one in real life, yes. So,
but you had one that wasn't a real baby before that, didn't you? There's an awkward situation in your book about the doll.
Yeah, this is a very awkward... To prepare me for parenthood, essentially, a friend of mine thought quite a nice thing to do will be to send this gift to you. And I was like, great, what will this gift be? And it arrives, and it was a small rubber doll, a little toddler doll. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, I don't quite know how to deal with this, because there was another element to it, which was the race of the doll. It was a black doll, and there's not. I'm a white man, but I'm allowed a black doll. I think that's fine. I just wasn't expecting this, but we welcomed him into our family, and my friend came round, and we were having a glass of wine, and my wife took a picture of me with the doll. We called him Didier, and we're sitting there, me and Didier, having a glass of wine, and then I forgot all about him. Cut to about a week later, a man comes round to our house to sort of fix our computers and stuff. And I've sort of forgotten Didier is there. And I go off to make him a cup of tea, and I come back, and the man is just sitting on the sofa next to a small rubber black boy. And he's thinking, this guy's a bit odd. And I'm thinking, so I don't know what to do. So I rush him upstairs, basically, to get away from Didier. And up there, my wife had said with this picture that she took, she went, oh, we'll have to use that for something. It's great of you and Didier. And
Was Didier drinking, yeah?
Didier was there with a little glass of wine, yeah. And I was next to him, just enjoying myself. And I just thought, well, there's nothing we can possibly use this for, it's fine. So I go upstairs, I distract the man with talk of computers and all that kind of stuff, and he fixes everything for me. And then he goes, have you got a laptop? We can fix that as well. And so I get the laptop, my wife's laptop, and that's good, because then I can say, I've got a wife. I'm not a weird man who lives with a series of dolls in my house. And I fire up the laptop, and up comes the screensaver, and my wife has used a picture of me and the doll as our screensaver. So this man now thinks that not only do I sit there of an evening with Didier just hanging out on the sofa, inviting strangers round, but I love him so much that I can't go a moment without having him on my computer. So yeah, that was the doll situation.
And obviously, Danny, you're moving in very competitive circles, especially now that you're sort of doing Hollywood things. Are you somebody that is competitive? Do you think you'll be a competitive dad?
No, I'll be the most non-competitive dad in the world. I'll let him win everything. My wife, on the other hand, she's very competitive. When it comes to board games, I just can't be bothered. Oh, there she is. She'll be cringing right now behind one of our many display cushions at home that we seem to have appropriated over the years. So I just let her win.
Danny, thank you so much. The book is out right now in all good bookshops, and thank you so much for coming by and braving us today. It's Danny Wallace, everyone.